And joining us today are Alex Hannaford, writer and director of The Last 40 Miles, and Victor Steele, the actor who plays Ray in the film. Alex writes, and you've covered the death penalty extensively. What was it like putting this together?
You know, I've covered it for about 10 or 11 years as a print journalist, and I'd interviewed numerous inmates over the years, and there was the stories of a few of them kind of stuck with me, and it was this sort of journey that they took from death row in Livingston, in East Texas town of Livingston, to the death chamber in Huntsville, and I kind of wanted to write a story about that. So I didn't really know whether to write it as a book or a short story or whatever, but I ended up writing this script, and I have a friend, Jeff Roth, who's an animation professor here in Austin. He suggested doing it as an animation, which is what we did. So it was a bit unusual, but that's the last 40 miles was the result.
And Victor, for you, acting in this, I mean, what was that like, having to channel through that kind of emotion?
Actually, I actually had to do very little. I think this is one of those acting exercises where I actually did less. Alex had written like the story. It was just already set there for me, and I actually tried to do as little. I may have added the inflection of the character and some of those things, but I'm just as thrilled to see it myself because of the animation process.
Wow, that sounds really interesting. Now, this is going to be shown at a film festival, correct?
Yeah, we're showing at the Marfa Film Festival on July the 3rd at 10 o'clock in the morning. So that's the next sort of Texas screening. But we've also screened at the Dallas International Film Fest and Kansas City, Santa Fe, and we won Best Animated Film at the Maryland International Film Festival. So yeah, there's a few, and there'll hopefully be more as well coming up.
Wow, I mean, this is a heavy subject to tackle. I mean, for you personally, how do you get through with going on to cover this still?
You know, the first time I went up to death row was 2003, and it's weird because we don't have the death penalty where I'm from in the UK. It got abolished in '66, and you know, you go in, and this kind of fed into the story really, because I went in there thinking you sort of, it's easy to think of these people as monsters. So you go in, have done these committed these horrendous crimes and stuff, and one of the most worrying things is when you go in there, they're just like you or me. And of course then you hear about the statistics about the disparity in race, and the death penalty. You hear about, you know, we abolished the death penalty for people with mental disabilities only fairly recently, and so you start to sort of factor all that into it, and then poverty in the death penalty, and it starts to sort of, you know, for me as a journalist, I really wanted to sort of tell these stories and try and sort of make people understand all the facts and stuff before they. And so this film was kind of just a part of that process, really. I want people to think more about justice and how we carry it out. I'm not preaching, this is not a pro or anti-death penalty film, but maybe after watching it, people will, you know, have a little bit more, you know, information, or want to go and seek more information about it.
Well, we'll post that information on our website, KXAN.com, and again, it's the Marfa Film Festival.
Yeah, Marfa Film Festival, July 3rd.
All right, well, thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
And we'll be right back after the break.